Happy New Year from the Hintzes in the house. It's the new year. As of yesterday.
New year, new us.
I was going to say same us.
Same BS.
Real? I don't know about you, but I'm feeling 22. Happy New Year.
22.
Mm-hmm. Taylor Swift. And it's 2022. It's not funny if I have to explain it.
I don't know about you, but I'm feeling 2022.
Oh, okay. That's because you're an old man.
Or 28.
At least you remembered. He had to ask me about it 2 days ago.
I guess I'm not 28 yet.
Yeah.
Am I?
No. Welcome back to Hintzes in the House in the year 2022. Tell us in the comments down below, how was your Christmas and New Year's? We are dying to know. I'm sure I sound very convincing.
If you listen to this podcast, we probably already have talked about it anyways in real life.
That's probably true. That is probably true. So this past yesterday, we have officially lived in South Dakota for 6 years. January 1st is our first day on land in 2017. First day on land.
Your first day on land?
ever on South Dakota soil. And so we've lived here now for 6 years, and it's a long freaking time to live in one place. Not really, but kind of, in the sense of like none of our family
It's a long
here.
time to live in a place that you didn't think you were ever going to live in, and two, once you did start living here, didn't think you were going to live more than like three years here.
Exactly. So we are just started now into year 6, but it is a little bit like, oh man, that's a long time. And it's a long time when none of our family is around. So, just the two of us just clinging to each other in life.
Just the two of us.
You're going to keep singing that? Okay, great. I love that you sing like just sound bites. It's great. But the holidays are such a fun time that you kind of forget that the weather is terrible. No, you don't forget. And also,
every single day I wake up and the weather is like, hey, by the way, I suck.
I will say this winter so far, the first 3 months of it, October, has been very, very mild. If that,
if every winter was like this,
it would be fine.
Yeah, it'd be fine. If we had 1 month of frigid temperatures and the rest was just like 40s mild, to 30s, it'd be like, okay, whatever, that's fine.
Right. And I usually classify winter in South Dakota to be October to May. So if we, that's 6 months, if you will, of winter. And so by that timeline, it's been very, very, very kind to us. But typically, because winter starts in my brain in October, it's already quite cold. And so by the time we get to January, I am ready to be not here. I'm like, it is cold. I want to go on vacation. And the holidays are over. And so now you're like, what do you do for the next 3 months? Like the next time we get a holiday or a vacation or a break is in May. So for these next 5 months, I'm like, we do nothing. We just sit around and hate our lives because it's so cold and there's nothing to do and it's a terrible time. So that brings us to today's topic, dream vacations.
Oh, I thought it was going to be things we hate.
The weather. So to put you on the spot, as I often like to do, tell me about a dream vacation. Where do you go? What do you do? Money isn't an option. You're not tied to anyone specific.
Money isn't an option. Can't use any money.
Sorry. Money isn't an object. It's not like...
Only credit cards?
Yeah.
Is this a dream vacation? Is this like a vacation I've been on, or is this like a...
vacation you would like to go on?
Can it be... does it have to be a real feasible
vacation? Yes, it does have to be a real feasible vacation. Again, money isn't an object, but it does have to exist on this planet. Like, you can't be like, I want to go to space, or I want to the Star Wars universe.
See, that's the thing. I want to go to space.
Okay. No.
I want to go...
Space is not a dream vacation.
I would like to go on a space... I'd like to have, a nice space station, spacecraft, if you will, something big that travels around. And I'd like to go and visit the moon Io. That would be like my dream
Whose moon is
vacation. Is it a moon of Neptune?
A Neptune moon? I have no idea.
I don't know. It's literally just the letters Io.
Right.
So it's called Io. But it's like a volcanic moon. It just seems really, really cool. I'd love to see it in real
That's
life.
your dream vacation.
Yeah.
One dream vacation. That's the one you pick.
Yeah. I mean, just going to space in general would be like.
Do you have a plan
dream.
B on planet Earth?
Well, think about it. Like they're letting people go up to.
It's true.
To space.
Papa
nowadays.
Elon, you know. And
yeah, and
Daddy Bezos.
Yeah.
So.
Sure. Yeah, those guys. My fathers are taking people to space.
Oh, man.
Father Musk. I'm gonna brand that as some sort of deodorant or some sort of like perfume. Father Musk.
Oh gosh, Lord have mercy.
For all the clergy
So
in your
I mean,
life.
it is kind of feasible, but now and in this life on
Not
this
feasible,
planet,
not feasible to be going to like the outer planets. Like going to Mars, feasible. Going to anywhere else, not feasible.
I don't
mean,
think
going to
any of
Mars
this is
not
feasible
really
as a dream
feasible.
vacation. But sure.
Going to space is a dream and a vacation.
I just wonder with the time difference. It's like, how long are you actually gone?
Are you saying traveling at light speed, or are you? What are you talking about?
I just mean like
you talking about like what time zone would I be in when I get to
No.
space? Yeah, I don't know.
No, I just mean that like, you know, astronauts are gone for like years at a time on mission, months or years at a time. So it was
But the
very
fact,
long
this is
vacation.
interesting fact. The faster you travel, the less time affects you. Yeah,
I'm just thinking like you get 2 weeks. You know,
that's why I drive.
You're not going to space
90 miles
for
an
2
hour
weeks.
everywhere I go.
Right.
Because I want to stay young forever.
Now you really sound like Papa Elon. So do you have a secondary on-world dream vacation?
On-world.
Mm-hmm.
On-world dream vacation.
On-world. It sounds like we're part of some dystopian like.
Yes. Going to Hobbiton.
That's what I thought you were gonna say.
And walking around there and walking around where they had Mount Doom. And
Is it all New Zealand or is it various locations?
I believe it's 90% New Zealand. I could be wrong though.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I go to good old Hobbiton and never come back.
This isn't a permanent vacation.
Just live out
it's
my
just
days as a
dream
hobbit
va-
for the rest of my life.
You're a little tall to be a hobbit. Definitely not
Yeah,
too
but
hairy
Hobbiton
though.
is scaled up to fit normal sized people, so I'll fit
There you
right
go.
in.
You will fit right in.
Because I'm not that tall. Yeah, and it would be really cool to go to. I don't remember what the name of the mountain is, but the mountain that was Mount Doom is a legit mountain. So it'd be cool to go there. I don't think you can climb it, if I am not mistaken. Like, I believe, like Mount Doom, when they were filming The Lord of the Rings, they're all long shots, I'm pretty sure. Like, none of, like,
Sure, and
hiking
anything that was like,
on
yeah.
Mount Doom. Like, that was all sets. I'm pretty sure it's all... I don't know if it's like a military testing zone or what the deal is, or if it's an active volcano. I don't know if it's a volcano or just a mountain in real life, but pretty sure it's off limits
restricted.
regardless.
Interesting.
But I'll tunnel under. I'll find a way.
Of course you will.
Life finds a way. I'm going to Io. I can get on underneath a
Oh
fence.
my gosh.
So that would probably be my dream vacation, and I don't know how much like one of those Lord of the Ring packets tours things would probably be like 5 to 10 grand.
Right,
I
and
would
that
assume.
doesn't include getting over there.
Well, I was
Money is not an
assuming-
object.
I was assuming it would include tickets, and tickets would be a huge part of the expense.
Right.
Like a couple grand.
Yeah. International travel is so expensive.
Domestic travel is so expensive.
It's all expensive.
Getting up and walking to the couch is a big expense on my life.
I tell you what.
I'd rather just stay in bed all day.
Yeah, I feel like international travel, I mean domestic travel too. I'm just so used to road tripping that I don't factor in flight prices when I think of going anywhere in the US.
Sure.
But when you do factor in flight prices, things are insane. Like, and international, it's like, even if you'd be better off taking a boat from like Fort Lauderdale to the Bahamas, money wise, like renting a boat or something like that, than you would trying to buy a plane ticket because it's international and it's stupid. Like those kinds of things. And it's like a 30-minute speedboat ride, that kind of thing. So it's like, even if you're on a coast where you can get to another country, like even just getting in a plane and going to that other country is $1,000 easy.
Right.
This is why, in our dream vacation scenarios, money doesn't matter.
Other than that, something even easier than going to space or going to New Zealand would be like just seeing all the national parks would be pretty cool.
As much as I think that's easier, we also have to factor in the percentage of them that are in Alaska.
Okay, well, let's just all remember you said money wasn't a problem in these
No, I'm just saying,
scenarios.
like, it's still feasible. It's just
go in the summer.
that's also true. But I mean, you know, they only have like what 3 months worth where the sun actually sets, something like that. I don't know. That would be we'd pick one of those months.
Yeah, I would pick the best month to go, and everyone
and just
else
hit
would
all
get
of them.
kicked out.
Alaska is so large. I think Alaska is like 3 Texases.
I don't know how big it is, but yeah, it's big.
Big boy state.
So it looks small on the maps,
Right? Because
they're
they like
"Here it is." They're like,
inset.
here's Alaska and here's Hawaii. They're like the same size.
And you're like, that is fake news. Plus, you got to drive through Canada to get there, unless you fly. So.
Or take a barge from Washington
and
to
around.
Alaska.
Interesting. You can take a barge. Who knew?
Or you can circumnavigate the world, go through Russia, and just hop on over. It almost touches. Russia and Alaska are like, we're so close.
That, what is it, the portrait of Adam or whatever, where like the Lord and Adam are almost touching fingers. Yeah, exactly.
Canada and Russia, or Alaska and Russia.
Yeah.
There's some pretty interesting little islands too. Fun times. If you're ever like bored, just go on Google and like go look up like small random like islands in the middle of nowhere and just read the reviews people write. They're so hysterical. Yeah.
I've heard of a game of like you get dropped somewhere and you have to figure out where you are. Google Maps, like Google
That's
Earth.
boring. Go read the reviews. I don't care about trying to guess where I am.
Well, fine. Then it just depends on what level of bored you are.
What if you get dropped in the middle of a forest somewhere?
Exactly. Figure out where you are.
How? All forests just look exactly the same.
And click around until you get out. And also, I don't think
I thought you said you had 6 clicks.
No, I never said anything about 6. You just figure out where you are.
Oh, so you just literally could sit there and click for like
until
4 hours and be like, oh, I'm almost out of this forest. Oh,
Besides
here's
the
a sign
fact
that
that-
says, welcome to Canada.
Besides the fact that Google Maps, the cars have to drive. They're not driving into the forest. No.
Have you ever driven through the Great Smoky Mountains?
Oh, that's true.
Like,
I mean, you're going to be on a
also,
road somewhere.
Canada is like 96% forests and like 4% developed because they suck.
So sorry, Canada. I do not feel that way about you.
It's something like 80% of all Canadians live within like 200 miles of the U.S. border.
I do feel like I knew that. Yeah.
And most of them live in that, near the Great Lakes and like near New York. And
over on that side.
yeah, by
Niagara
Falls. That's where like most of them live. And I think is that Vancouver over there? I don't know. Canada
So
sucks.
sorry.
I don't know anything about them.
Okay, they don't suck. I just don't know anything about their geography. Anyway, my dream vacation.
Is to go to Canada.
That's one of my dream vacations. But that's one of those, like, I wouldn't consider it a dream vacation because it's always been in the back of my mind as, like, within the realm of possibility.
Oh, okay.
So it's, like, especially now, how close we live to the border. I'm like, this is
and
the
going
closest.
to space is not their own possibility.
No! We could drive to Canada. You cannot drive to space.
If I hijack a spacecraft,
Okay.
also sometimes referred to as rocket ships.
We're as close to the Canadian border
How
as
hard
we've
could it
ever
be?
been.
You just literally fly straight up.
I don't...
They set them up and you get in, you're like, all right, beep, launch. Just keep it straight up.
Okay, it's not like that, what is it, Mission Space at Epcot? It's not the same.
It's
not how it
exactly
works.
the
Okay.
same. The little lady comes on the screen and tells me exactly which buttons to push.
Yeah, we're so close to the border of Canada, we could drive. And so the problem is we're right in the middle, and the cool parts of Canada are on the edges. So that's unfortunate. And I would want to visit both of them, but they're so far away from each other. But it is a lot of forest. It's a lot of hiking, a lot of nice natural beauty, waterfalls, all that kind of stuff. So yes, I wouldn't consider Canada a dream vacation. Will it happen in my lifetime? Probably not. So I guess it should be classified as a dream vacation. But I want to go to Canada on our honeymoon.
I think the Canadian borders just opened up.
I mean, I wanted to go to
There
Canada.
is a lake. I don't remember what it is, but there's a really famous lake in Canada that I would actually like to go to.
I think Banff, Banff.
Yeah, Banff National Park.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's in that.
Or I think it's in Canada. But if it's a national park, then it wouldn't be in Canada.
Canada can have national parks too.
That is true. They are a nation.
They suck, but they're not monsters. Come on.
And then we've talked about before, the two of us going to visit all of the national parks, but again, it's like it's kind of in the realm of possibility if we like buckled down and saved and like, so I wouldn't consider these like dream vacations as much as bucket list things, if that makes sense. Dream vacation to me is like completely just, this is a, you know, 1 in a million, never gonna happen kind of thing. So for you, space, potentially New Zealand. For me, somewhere tropical, truly tropical, like
Florida.
Absolutely not. I am not talking about the sweaty armpit of America, okay? I'm talking about like Aruba, Jamaica.
Who I want to take you?
Exactly. I went
the Bahamas.
the Bahamas.
Come on, pretty mama.
Well, I went to the Bahamas on a mission trip, and it was a legit like.
We went to
mission
the
trip.
Keys too.
We did go to the Keys one time.
Did we feed the tarpon there?
Yeah,
That was a fun time.
I've fed the tarpon twice in the Keys, and we went snorkeling in the Keys. That was fun.
If you ever go to the Keys, you have to stop. I don't know what it is. Just
I don't remember.
just Google
Feed the tarpon.
feed the tarpon in the Keys.
There's, like, one place.
It'll come up, yeah. And they just give you a bucket of fish, and there's tarpon that they
Bucket of fish.
Swim around the little like
Pier.
dock that they've built there, because people feed the tarpons all day long,
Mm-hmm.
and you just feed. I mean, you can like throw the fish in too, but I mean they're tarpon. They're not like they're pretty easygoing as far as fish are concerned. As far as
But
I
they'll
know.
jump up and snatch it for them, yeah.
Yeah, you can
Yeah.
put it down and they'll like snatch it out of your hand.
Mm-hmm.
That's a fun time.
That was a good experience.
That was.
And the snorkeling was also really great. That was my second time snorkeling.
Oh yeah, there was like the statue of Jesus that was under the water, and we swam down
And
to.
that
And I got to
was
swim down and like
Penny Camp.
touch his hand.
John Penny Camp snorkeling. That's what it was.
Pennicamp.
The first time I ever went snorkeling was a terrible experience. The water was like very rough and it was really hard to see anything. And so I was like seasick and miserable. It was terrible. But I gave it another shot and went to John Penny Camp, and that was really worth it because it was a really good time. Anyway, I'm talking about like international, like white sand beaches, like water bluer than your eyeballs, like just Ethan's eyeballs to be specific. The crisp, clear, like Bora Bora,
Well,
or somewhere that has like
they're bluer than your eyeballs. I'm not swimming in the ocean that's brown.
like maybe one of those resorts that's like on the water, you know what I'm saying, like where they have like the boardwalk out and like the hut is just like in the ocean,
There are some
one of those places,
beaches
the Maldives
internationally where it's like illegal to take sand
Oh, that's
home
not
from
surprising.
the beaches.
Yeah, that checks out.
Because they have like their white sandy beaches and they don't want people to like steal the sand, because apparently that's a thing people do, I guess.
Interesting.
So people would like just fill like 2-liter bottles of soda with sand and try and take that home.
Well, and here's the thing, because they can
TSA would confiscate it at the airport.
Because they can sell it, like souvenir shops can sell it, and I feel like that's legal. So they're probably like, we want to market this, like we want to keep profits from our sand, our beaches, so you can't legally take it home in a jar that's not like bought.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure that they're saying that they don't want like erosion and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Which is like a couple of tourists taking like a 2-liter bottle
And I'm
of
sure
sand
the way
home.
that they do it is probably like, for marketing or for selling purposes, like within their shops, it's such a small quantity that they're like, we have more control over this.
I'm just happy that I live in America where I'm free to take whatever sand I feel like taking from
Except
anywhere.
for not from national parks, probably.
Too late.
That's not true. Don't come for us. Yeah, because if you're in a
you can search, you won't find it.
if you're in a state or national park, you can't take like foliage or debris, or like you can't take sticks. You can't take stuff out of the parks.
Sure.
So I would assume that if you're somewhere that's sandy, you
Can
probably
you
couldn't
leave
take
stuff in the parks?
Also, not really.
What if I take a stick from outside the national park and leave it in the national park? Then is that stick part of the national park, or is it not? Because I could take that stick back out because it's not part of the national park.
Yeah, but it's like an invasive species, and also, are they gonna know that you planted the stick?
First off, who describes a stick as an invasive species?
Okay, because I think of the logs that we are or are not allowed to use here for firewood, like emerald ash borer is a big deal.
Right. I'm not talking about bringing in bugs. I'm talking about a stick.
Are they bugs or is it just wood? The emerald
It's
ash.
bugs, like bugs that live in the wood.
I'm with you.
Is the problem.
Well, you might not know what bugs live in that stick, and you could be invading their
if I
space.
pick a stick up though, from like a national park, like the border of it is just a line. So if I walk over the line, pick a stick up and throw it over the line, whose stick is
True.
it? Is it the national park stick or is it?
It is now. Listen, anything that goes into the national park is the national park's property.
What if I accidentally kick it out of the national park? Totally by accident, of course.
You better throw it back in there. They're gonna come for you. Tell you what.
But how would they know?
Listen, the National Park Service has eyes everywhere. They
know
everything.
The bears are gonna rat on me.
Listen, you don't know what the
Ranger Bob. it's
not
smoky.
Listen, it's not even that. It's the little creatures. How do you think it works in Disney? You know, they got all the little
crabs.
I'm talking about all the little creatures. It's like the rabbits and the squirrels and the chipmunks, and they all whisper to each other, and then they go to the bear, and the bear calls the ranger. That's how it works. Bears don't just know things.
Why wouldn't they just go straight to the ranger?
Because the rangers don't trust the little creatures.
What the bears do?
Yeah.
And the rangers know that the bears get all their information from the little creatures.
Listen, when you're a bear, you have to get listened to. Rangers are like, I'm going to listen to you because you could kill me. But if it's a squirrel, it's like, I'm not going to listen to you because I could kill you. You know how it works. It's a food chain. It's a hierarchy. Would you trust a squirrel or would you trust a bear?
I would trust neither.
I would trust a bear. That is not the point. The point is no stealing sand from international beaches, apparently. But yes, that would be probably my dream vacation. And the reason I said like not tied to money is because, again, international travel, and not tied to people is because I don't think that would be a fun vacation for you. Like, I don't think that a beach all of the time for like 2 weeks.
Kind of crowdy, or not crowdy.
That would be the opposite of a dream vacation.
Cloudy.
Yeah, and I don't want that. Like, I literally just would like to just sit on the beach for 2 weeks with no agenda.
Right, with a little bit of clouds, so we don't.
Maybe like 2 clouds.
Can't. My own personal, people have like their own personal rain cloud, just a little personal shade cloud over me.
That would be so good. I mean, obviously, like, we do the whole thing where we have, I'm sure, some umbrellas of some kind, so it would be maybe not so sun blistering all the time. But I mean, I just truly, I mentally go. I mentally go to my happy place, if you will, and it's somewhere tropical with sea breeze and some fruity drink on the beach, and it's just a good time, and it's just
there was
peaceful.
One time in Florida where I was in the ocean and someone came by and there was a manatee just swimming in the ocean. Got to swim out, didn't touch it, but I swam near it. I mean, I don't think you're supposed to be like just touching manatees.
Yeah, probably not.
I don't know if it's a crime. I don't know how you could make touching an animal a crime. But
I
it
feel
also
like the
seems like
animal
something
would tell
that the
you,
government
be like,
would
this
do.
is a crime. Like, the animal would come after you, and then you'd be like, oh, I probably wasn't supposed to do that.
Manatees are so, like, docile. Like, they're not going to do anything. They're just going to
I'm pretty sure manatees are
around.
the mermaids in the stories.
The cows of the seas.
Mm-hmm. The sea cows.
Just like mermaids.
But do you know what I'm talking about? Do you know what I'm talking about? Where sailors would be, like, out to sea, and they'd be so delusional.
They'd be like, I haven't seen a woman in 18 years.
Is
that what a woman looks like?
And they'd be like, manatee, mermaid, that's the same. And then
look at that fair lassie down there.
Bad things would ensue. I'm gonna let you guys put together the pieces there of pirate crews and manatees. It's not
the scurvy. It was driving him crazy.
I mean, listen, scurvy will do it to the best of us, honestly. I don't think I have a plan B dream vacation. Like I said, everything else everything else
final
I've
frontier
thought of is like generally feasible, and like in reality, because I think about like we could probably go on a cruise, and those are like pretty expensive, but that's all of your, it's like $1,000, $2,000 per person, but it's food, lodging, and all of these like little island thingies you get to go to. Yeah. But most of your time
dying in the middle of the ocean.
Exactly.
What more could you ask for?
Right. Most of your time, though, is spent on the boat. So it's like you go on a cruise to be on the cruise, and I don't want that. Like, I want to go to an island and be on an island. But I would like to do one of those, like, inclusive... You always see those commercials for, like, Sandals Resort. And they're, like, this all-inclusive package for...
Yeah, but the problem is,
but I have no idea.
The cruise ship will, like, dock at ports and that kind of stuff. And they'll be like, all right, you have to be back in 10 hours or we're leaving without you.
Exactly.
You're like, What?
Right, which is why it's like a cruise in general, like you could hop to all those little islands, but you don't really get to stay on the islands, and that part stresses me out. I'm like, I just want to, this doesn't feel like a vacation. Like it feels like I don't know. It's like when you stop at a gas station on a road trip, you know, you just gotta like get in, get out, and
I've never had that mentality.
No?
I walked into a gas station on a road trip.
yeah, you're just like, we gotta keep going on our way, and I'm so stressed, and I don't want to get left.
I mean, maybe if I felt like I was going to get murdered, sure, I'd be
Well.
like, I gotta get in, I gotta get out. But normally I walk into gas stations and I'm just like, okay, I'm just going to do my
that's 'cause you're the
normal
driver.
speed.
I mean, I trust you not to leave me, but otherwise, you think you're gonna get left. You're in a rush. What?
Did
No, I never got
someone ever
left
leave you at a gas station on a road trip?
I never
Got
got
some unresolved
left at
trauma that we need to work through here. Like, no, I
I'm just
never.
saying.
I never once went into a gas station with my parents when we were on a road trip and was like, I gotta hurry, your dad's gonna peel out of here without me. That big old white van is gonna be blazing down the road, and I'm gonna be left here holding a Snickers bar and a Gatorade, crying. That was never a thought.
It communicates the same idea to me of a cruise ship, like you said, 10 hours and then we're out. That kind of thing.
Again, who would just leave? Who?
The captain would just leave.
Okay, yes, the captain is not my father. Like,
So, plant myself on an island for 2 weeks and not do that. But I haven't done any research into those, all-inclusive resort kind of things. And I'm sure those packages are equally $2,000+ and then it's like $2,000+ to get yourself there. So it's like, it's not an easy thing. If we inherited, well, I always like to say, like, if all of a sudden we got dropped X pile of money, and then realistically I'm like, we pay off our house, we pay off our cars, and we'd be as debt free as possible. And then we could maybe do some fun stuff. Like,
maybe.
We'd pay off all of our debt, and then we would save a bunch, and then maybe we could do something fun.
I would just like to retroactively correct one of my statements. Io is one of Jupiter's moon.
I thought it was Jupiter's moon, one of Jupiter's moons, but I did not want to correct you because you know more about space than I do. So, except for whose moon Io is, apparently. And now you know.
It is the third largest of the 4 Galilean moons.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're really looking for something good to do after you listen to this podcast, just go on YouTube and Google Io, Jupiter moon, and watch some videos on it because it's pretty dope. And then you'll understand why I would like to go to Io.
And if space is not your thing,
then probably just, I don't know, get on a cruise and hope that it sinks in the middle of the ocean.
I was gonna say go on YouTube and look up one of those like Yule log sort of situations, but for a beach, and it's just like beach scene and beach sounds for like 10 hours and just dream. Like just use your imagination and pretend you're there.
10 hours of
pretend
beaches.
It's warm and not whatever current temperature it is here in South Dakota. It's very cold. Like, we literally can only let our dogs be outside for like 15 minutes at a time.
We can let them be out longer than that, but they might die. So.
Exactly. I have her on a timer. Dream a little in this new year of places that you would like to be. Maybe you could dream enough to make them a reality in the sense of plan. Like you could plan and you could like prepare.
I just woke up one day and suddenly I was in Alaska on my dream vacation.
Maybe you could plan and budget and all of those things and make your dreams a reality. Then again, maybe not. Maybe it's just
who needs an umbrella when you have a hat?
Exactly. So then you could go with me. Just want to be on a beach somewhere. Exactly.
Just the two of us on a beach somewhere.
I really thought you were going to just like...
the two of us.
I somehow thought it was going to click in your brain.
You somehow thought that I suddenly knew the words to the song that I have no idea what they are?
Yeah. I did. I really did. I had faith in you.
No.
Well, that's that.
All faith is gone.
Bye.
Bye-bye.